All right, so 2021 is in the books, and it has been a fantastic year for me and my channel. I wanted to thank every single one of you out there who's subscribed, listened, jammed alongside one of these mixes out there, because I couldn't do it without you, and the amount of plays that I've been getting has been crazy for me. Because, I mean, if you'd asked me back in 2020 if something like this was going to happen for me, I, I, I wouldn't know what to tell you. I pretty much just had the goal of making music this year and last year, and seeing where that got me. But it's been an entire experience getting to know new artists and new labels, and getting my own music out there in the experience. Thank you. Thank you to all 250 some of my subscribers right now. I want to thank you, and I want you to know that I cherish and appreciate the amount of respect you give me through a subscription, a like, a comment, whatever it is. I'm just there for the interaction. I really appreciate you. So basically, how this entire thing began was, I guess, right in the middle of the pandemic. I had built it up in my head that I was like ready to do shows again, and I wanted to I guess just play other people's music along with my own. I'd been working on my own music as far as house music was concerned for a really long time, and and then boom, it's like shelter in place, yada yada yada. And I did a 10 mix series that I personally really enjoyed, where I sampled and used a whole bunch of different little creative techniques in order to make a simple little mix series called Colita de Rana out. And there were 10 videos or 10 mixes originally on SoundCloud that I personally enjoyed. That being said, I had given it about a month before I was going to do something else, and civil unrest and protest had begun. And so I decided to begin a mix series. I had no idea what I was going to name it. I just went with numbers. So I went with number 1, and it coincided with the Black Lives Matter movement. And I had produced that mix, and that mix was very special to me because it started off my entire mix series with an original track. And so that was pretty much the beginning of it. I pretty much mix here at my desk. I just feel out the tracks, and I usually try to use tracks that are brand new to me or out there, because I seem to not be able to mind my own business as far as music is concerned, which is good. Like I said, I just love electronic music deep down. Let's see, pretty much the art is all me. The mix is me as well, which is why I'm hoping to bring you better videos, a little bit more animation, hopefully, to keep your eyes entertained. The direction on this channel, it was really based on the culture. It was really based on house music's culture in and of itself. Me being like a Larry Heard fan and a house music fan, I had really just been interested in mixes to begin with. Like, there were mixes that I had seen beforehand, like, Kiffin's Lo-Fi House mix, and the Bacane. I'm probably butchering that name. But there were a lot of mixes across YouTube that I had listened to and liked for a really long time before I decided that I was going to do my thing. And I'm glad I did. I'm really glad that I now talk to Kiffin. And, like I said, this entire thing has been an experience. Some other questions that I seem to get in my comment section was, why no timestamps and things of that nature. Well, right now, I really appreciate not being monetized, even though I should, not say that publicly or out loud. But I do appreciate it, because of some Detroit house mixes I've heard in the past have just been chopped to bits with ads, and I would hate that for you as a listener. While at the same time, if it's a subscription-based service or everything's working as it is, I really hope to be able to bring you that mix on multiple platforms. That way you can enjoy it however I guess the internet's gonna allow us to see eye to eye. Why my mixes aren't so frequent is because I do like to make music. I originally, like I said, made this channel to promote my own music and kind of rub elbows with other artists to show that I was, as capable as other songs that I like out there, because I'm constantly referencing tracks. I'm constantly using those tracks as inspiration, modern tracks. So that's pretty much why I kept it stiff to 2 weeks, because it really helped me get out exactly what it is I was feeling sonically. Unfortunately, with other people's tracks, but I don't know. I just can't make a mix without my own track involved. So, anyways, goals going forward in the future, like I'd already told you, is definitely to make a little bit more animation in the video. That would be really cool for me, especially having a YouTube channel where I have this amount of subscribers. Like I said, I didn't think I would have this. To me, this is a lot. This is a lot. I don't know what else to say. But you know, at the end of the day, I make music to make music, and I really do hope that all the videos of my own tracks that are out there get your eye, and you can definitely give me some feedback or whatever it is. You know, if you really like a direction that I'm going with a specific sound, because of the fact that I mean, I love house music. I love house music to a T, but I'm like, you know, well, I really do love indie music. I don't know if you've heard any of the songs that I've made that's not predominantly house, but I do like indie electronica, or indie-tronica, as it's sometimes known. I can't wait to get out there in my own city at some point. Hopefully this Omicron situation goes away and I'm able to perform in Austin very publicly. Pretty much the goal going forward also is to eventually live stream on YouTube for you, to do a couple of these mixes, almost like social status updates, if you will, live. And that to me would be amazing. Hopefully I'll get the cred to live stream and have an audience, and you'll be there to see it. So I just, like I said, wanted to thank you so much. A little personal history about myself, if I may. And I promise to keep this short because I've already taken up, so much of your time. But pretty much for me as a child, I grew up here in Austin, Texas. I was in Austin Children's Choir, and I did dance classes all my life. And while I did dance classes, I usually found myself taken aback by the music that was in those dance classes. The rhythm was so saturated in myself that I began to absolutely love music. And I knew this from a young age. My mother had been in high school band through the Texas program, and I knew that it was in my destiny to do band as well, like a good musical Texas kid. Once I was in band, I was this chubby little Latin boy that fell in love with jazz music somehow. And I just remember having a really great teacher, Miss Callan, teaching me trumpet, and she had explained jazz in a nutshell. Once I got hooked on jazz, music was a thing. All the time I was in the car with my headphones on. I remember at one point I'd listened to a funk album over and over and over, and it was just a miscellaneous funk album from Walmart. It was it had the Commodores, Prince, the Average White Band. It was just like, it was kind of typical, but at the same time, like for me, I just couldn't let it go. And so growing up, like just that sense of inane rhythm of disco type of an atmosphere, ABBA, things of those natures, it all kind of hit me at once. And then by the time middle school happened, I remember one night I had stayed up watching Toonami when it was a new thing, and I caught sight of what was Interstellar 5555. I think it's four. There's 4 5. But yeah, I saw that movie for the first time in my life, and I saw Daft Punk, and I didn't know what that was, and so I was like, what is this? And the more I listened to the music, I was like trying to break down in my head like what the instruments were. Like, is that a bass guitar? How are there two basses? That synth, that low synth with the high synth. So much of it didn't make sense to me, and I was trying to imagine like a band playing these instruments, and come to find out it's like two dudes on some turntables that are like banging these tracks out. And I was just like, holy shit, what is this? And I had stumbled across electronic music, and the rest is history. I of course, listen to alternative, indie, punk, progressive music as well. Descendants, Queen, some honorable mention at the drive-in, Mars Volta. Of course, I'm Latin, so of course Mars Volta. Their other project, De Facto, stuff like that. Nightmares on Wax, you gotta love that. And then of course there's the old contemporaries, Elvis, the Beatles, and the Four Horsemen, Michael Jackson, Prince, George Michael, and David Bowie. Oh man, the list goes on and on. But yeah, that's a brief musical history of myself, and that's why I sing and whatnot. And I really, really, really hope that you get to stick around for so much more, because there's no telling where this is going to stop. And I'm just glad that you're here for the beginning. So thanks so much. Please respond down in the comments with anything you have to say. I'll be there to respond to you immediately. Love you so much. Thank you for a great year.